All right, so are you ready to dive into some seriously cool OpenAI updates?
Oh, absolutely. These updates are like straight out of science fiction.
It really feels like we're on the edge of a whole new world, right? And speaking of feeling futuristic, we have to talk about the real-time API. Remember how we used to have to wait for ChatGPT to think? Well, those days are over.
It's a game changer for developers.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to stitch together different models, they've streamlined everything with the real-time API.
So what does that mean for the average person? Like, how does this actually affect me?
Imagine having a conversation that flows naturally, just like you're talking to a real person, but it's with an AI. That's the power of the real-time API.
Okay, so no more awkward pauses or delays. That sounds amazing. Are there any real-world examples of how this is being used?
Absolutely. Take Healthify, for example. They've integrated the real-time API into their AI fitness coach, Ria.
Hmm.
Now users can have these back and forth conversations with Ria, and it feels much more natural and engaging.
So it's like having a personal trainer right in your pocket 24/7. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What about other applications?
Language learning is another area where we're seeing incredible results. The app Speak uses the real-time API to create these really immersive role-playing scenarios for language learners. It's a game changer for building confidence and fluency.
It's amazing how this technology is making AI feel so much more human. And it's not just about hearing and speaking anymore, right? OpenAI has also found a way to give GPT-4o the gift of sight.
That's right. We're talking about AI that can actually process and understand images with remarkable accuracy.
Hold on, AI that can see. That sounds a little too close to science fiction for me. But seriously, what does this mean for us?
It's not about robots seeing the world like humans do, at least not yet. But it is about teaching AI to look at an image and understand the context, the emotions, even the relationships between different elements. And the really cool thing is OpenAI has given developers all the tools they need to customize this AI vision.
So we're basically teaching AI to see the world like we do. How does that even work?
It's all about this new fine-tuning process with GPT-4o. Developers can now train the AI on specific sets of images just like they do with text.
Okay, so instead of reading a textbook, the AI is looking at flashcards. That's a pretty cool concept. But how does this actually play out in the real world?
We'll take Grab, for instance. You know that ride-hailing and food delivery app? They use just 100 images to teach GPT-4o how to understand their mapping data.
Wait, just 100 images. What did they teach it to do?
They focus on really practical things like counting lanes on a street and
Oh.
identifying speed limit signs. And the results were incredible.
Okay, now I'm really interested. How much of a difference did those 100 images make?
Their accuracy for lane counting jumped by 20% and speed limit detection up by 13% just from those images.
Wow, that's impressive. So we're talking about a significant improvement in AI's ability to understand real-world environments just from a small amount of visual data.
Exactly. And it's not just about mapping either automat. Another company is using GPT-4's vision capabilities to revolutionize the way businesses automate their processes.
Now we're talking my language. Tell me more.
Imagine software that can actually see and understand what's happening on your computer screen, just like a human user.
Hold on a second. Are we talking about AI that can use other software?
You got it. Their AI can navigate through different apps and websites, finding and using the right buttons and menus, all with impressive accuracy.
Okay, that is seriously cool. So it's like having a virtual assistant that can actually see what you're working on and lend a hand.
Precisely. And the best part is, it's not just a cool concept. It actually works incredibly well. Their
Mhm.
success rate for automating tasks went from a measly 16% to a whopping 61% just by giving their AI the power of sight.
Well, that's a game changer for businesses. But let's be real for a second. This level of AI sophistication has to come with a hefty price tag, right?
You're not wrong to think about the cost. Developing and deploying these advanced AI models can get expensive, but that's where things get really interesting. OpenAI has actually made huge strides in making powerful AI more affordable and accessible through something called model distillation.
Model distillation. That sounds a little intimidating. Can you break that down for me? So it's like giving someone a crash course on a whole subject instead of making them study for months.
That's a great analogy. Essentially, model distillation takes all the knowledge and capabilities of a super powerful AI and kind of compresses it down into a smaller, more manageable model.
So it's like creating a more affordable version without losing all the good stuff.
Exactly. You still get impressive performance, but at a fraction of the cost and complexity. That's a game changer for smaller developers who don't have unlimited resources.
That makes a lot of sense. But how does OpenAI actually make model distillation work for developers?
Well, they've released these really cool tools that make the whole process much easier.
Like what? Give me an example.
One of them is called stored completions. Think of it like a giant library of GPT-4's greatest hits,
Yeah.
all the best responses and outputs it's ever generated.
Okay, so it's like a cheat sheet for AI.
Kind of. Developers can use these stored completions to train their own smaller AI models, giving them a huge head start.
So they don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. That's pretty smart.
Right. And to make sure these distilled AIs are actually learning and improving, OpenAI created another tool called Evils.
And what does that do?
It's a way for developers to track the performance of their AI and see how well it's learning from the data.
So it's like having a personal report card for your AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can see what it's good at and where it might need some extra help. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of the development process.
It's amazing how OpenAI is constantly developing these tools that make powerful AI more accessible to everyone. But even with these advancements, isn't the cost of actually using AI still a big obstacle for some people?
You're definitely right to think about the cost of running these AI models. But OpenAI has a clever solution for that too. It's called prompt caching.
Okay. Prompt caching. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So every time you interact with an AI, it takes processing power, right? And processing power equals cost.
That makes sense.
But what if the AI could remember those interactions, especially the ones you use over and over again? That's the idea behind prompt caching. If you send the AI the same question or request multiple times, it will remember the answer instead of having to start from scratch each time.
So it's like the AI gets smarter and faster the more you use it.
You got it. And that translates into some serious cost savings for developers. OpenAI is even offering a 50% discount on input tokens for any cached prompts.
Wow, 50% discount. That's huge. Especially if you're running an application that uses AI a lot.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone. Developers get to save money, and users get faster, more efficient AI experiences.
It's amazing to see how these updates are making powerful AI not only more accessible, but also more affordable. Feels like OpenAI is really committed to democratizing this technology and making it available to everyone, not just big tech companies.
I totally agree. And I think that's incredibly exciting. When you empower more people with these tools, you open up a world of possibilities. Who knows what kind of incredible applications and innovations we'll see in the coming years.
It's definitely an exciting time to be following the world of AI. OpenAI is pushing the boundaries of what's possible while also making those advancements available to the masses. It's like we're witnessing a paradigm shift in how we interact with technology.
I couldn't agree more. It's going to be fascinating to see where we go from here.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, it seems like we've reached the end of our deep dive for today, but the conversation about AI is far from over. If these OpenAI updates have taught us anything, it's that the future of technology is full of surprises. And I, for one, can't wait to see what groundbreaking innovations await us just around the corner.